que de faire. Welcome to 40K today.
Hello.
How goes the day, sir?
Going very well, thank you.
We've got some new stuff.
And things.
And things, my man. I want to entertain you with a story of how I was told to make my list. So I was excited when we were doing the Streamhouse RTT. They're like, Brad, you can play New Eldar. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to play New Eldar. And then they're like, okay. And I'm like, well,
so
I don't have the book.
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm going to need to wait until at least, that Saturday to get the book and everything. And then they're like, they want to put the stuff on Goonhammer. We need your list now. And by the way, this weekend was in Chicago practicing for the team tournament for Adepticon. So through phone screen pics of the new book and the points and stuff, I made a list, and I made a list that I think is super fun and showcases things. It's not going to be my final list at all, but it is super, super fun.
Yeah.
And I'm pumped up to play with it because I put in Karandras, Janezar, and Eldrad.
Well, Eldrad's still pretty cool as well. Okay. Is it me, or does the Eldritch Storm stratagem sound ridiculous?
It sounds awesome, but the thing is that it's 6 inches on that, so it's like certain armies you'll be able to really slam it out. But how many Farseers are you going to throw down? I feel like
3.
You just want to do it 3 times? That's actually could be devastating.
D3 plus 3 to everyone within 6. And to be honest, the games that I've played with Eldar, I've played with Eldrad and a Farseer, is so far has been my favorite combination. Like Eldrad and a single Farseer and Karandras. Like I'm running a single battalion, Eldrad, Farseer, Karandras, and like a Warlock to do some psychic actions, and a Webway Gate, and then like 20 Guardians, and that's been like the core of my list.
Can't go wrong with that.
Nope. Doom, Guide. Oh, well, not Doom. You don't even need to guide the Black Guardians, but because they have the strat for +1 hit. But Doom and just shuriken volleys or whatever with the exploding 6s. It's just so good.
Check that out. This is the official Brad list. Oh no, I gotta make you Mega Scary again.
I am Mega Scary.
I had a problem with my Discordage for Mr. Scary on this, so I have to make him Mega Scary.
Hello Simon, hello chat, hello Samuel. Thank you very much for becoming an Art of War member on the YouTube channel.
Fantastic.
Thanks to folks like you that we get to do what we do. So thank you very much for your ongoing support here on YouTube or in the War Room, all that good stuff as well. Which is really awesome.
This is the Brad list. This is not my final mojo. This won't be Brad at a GT. This, however, is super fun. But I did want to showcase some of the stuff. I took double Warwalkers. I took double Spinners, double Spiders, a 10-man Howling Banshee unit with graceful avoidance. And then I took triple Rangers. This is a double patrol, by the way. I took some Scorpions. I took a Serpion. I took some Swooping Hawks. I took a 5-man Windrider squad with scatter lasers. And I feel really fun about it, though, man. It feels really, really good to put all that stuff on the table.
There's a lot of stuff There's a lot of stuff in that list.
I will bring something similar to this. It won't be like this. Don't get me wrong. This isn't a bad list. It's just not the final form power level 10,000 list. But I wanted to do something. One, Phoenix Lords haven't been good in a long time, so I wanted to put some of those on the board. Where I had a great time, and I had a great time. I love it. International team tournament. Love team tournaments. Was practicing for the Adepticon team tournament over the weekend. I just like to point out by the fact that I'm wearing a pink unicorn. Let me scooch over here. Pink unicorn.
You got to love the pink mascots. 100%.
So, but we've talked about this before. I love me some team tournament.
I honestly think, especially with the way that in 40K today, newsflash, the meta. Newsflash. The meta is the meta, which means some factions tend to do better than others. And this can very much be mitigated in a team environment.
Yes.
And it's one of the reasons I love team environments the most, is it tends to be the most balanced way to play 40K, because every team gets the silly stuff. And it's about who can handle the silly stuff better that then helps, mitigate it, which is cool.
Are those warlocks not going to explode versus Tau? 100%. But I brought them to this. I don't even know why we're calling it a tournament. It's 8 guys playing a couple games. But I wanted to use the strat. That's literally the only reason I brought 4 warlocks. Is I wanted to use
the double.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you right now, my current secret sauce for the Eldar is using Mind War to bypass Bodyguard, and it involves a unit of 4 warlocks to be able to use the Battle Psyker strat and the Seer Council, of course.
Yeah.
But
Seer Council is insanity too, because it's literally before the game now. It's amazing. And then it's
+1 for your Farseer for the rest. And since you're Uthway, the first cost you do is already +1, so it's +2 to the first cost. Yes. And then you fish for those 6s in the Psychic phase with your Fate dice, and you're like, pop. This is like a whole Eldar clinic. Anyway, so Mind War is going to be great in the new meta. You take a Hemlock with -2 leadership bubble. You take a 4-strong unit of Warlocks that can embolden and horrify, so -2 leadership, and then +2 leadership to your target. So you can give your Farseer +2 leadership and then -2. Then you put him near the Webway gate for inspiring, so +1 leadership as well. And then you take Shards of Light for an additional -2 leadership. So he's sitting at -6 leadership.
I love everything about that.
And your Farseer is +3 leadership. And then you Mind War. It's up to 14. It's like 14 mortal wounds or something.
Is it not easier just to cast Impair Senses to turn off Bodyguard in a literal sense?
No.
But it's more fun to do it this way.
It is.
No. What's happening here? Am I losing a wild Scary? That would be bad. As far as things, what are people sleeping on in the Eldar book? I actually think that there's a lot that is in the book. It has a lot of internal balance, and I think that there's not going to be one ultra list that comes out of it immediately. So I think that's going to be a big deal when you're playing. So I think that there's going to be a lot of different lists that come out of this. So you're going to have a really fun time finding that. Scary went away. So let me try to recapture a wild Scary here real quick. Pitch ink. Sometimes you got to call a Scary. You got to call a Scary and say what's up.
Yeah. Are we good? Can you hear me?
We can now hear and see you again. You were gone, my friend. You were gone.
Literally was fine here.
You were completely
Was I frozen?
Yeah, you were paused. You were sitting there. You were making.
And I went on a absolute. I gave away the secret to winning every game of Warhammer 40,000, and I can't be bothered to repeat myself now.
No, I do want to talk about this thing. We were talking about one of the questions was, what are people sleeping on in the Eldar book? And I want to put 2 things out there, because one, I think that Strands of Fate is going to be so huge. That's why I'm playing Youthway this weekend, just because I want to manipulate that more. But I think one of the biggest things, and this is what I was saying, one of the things that people are sleeping on is, I think that there's a lot of different ways to play Eldari right now. And I think it's going to literally be weeks, maybe months before we have any secret sauce type thing, because I think that there's a lot of internal balance in these armies. You can go a lot of different ways. To tell you the truth, one of the things I think is scat bikes are fantastic for the price. It's crazy.
Not even scat bikes, just bikes with the twin catapults.
Any of them. I mean, they're a good value buy.
Mm-hmm. Like just the twin catapults with the X-ray P and the shuriken ability and the like exploding sixes and the if they shoot something that's on an objective, they get like reroll ones to hit. Like there's so many things that you can mix around with that. And fate dice are very, very powerful. They're so good. I'm loving being able to keep 5 with like my Eldar, like with my Uthway like warlord trait. You know, like I keep 5. And I get to roll, and then there's a relic to give you an additional one. So you can roll 7 and keep 5, and then re-roll 1 for each Farseer. You can be like, and I've been trying to fish for those 3s, which gives you a 6 on the psychic test. Every time I played, I'm trying like to find as many 3s as possible, and my psychic phase is like unstoppable.
We put a game yesterday before we left because we were practicing for the tournament, of course, and I played late game with, and the fact is, I had to manipulate them, and I got a four saves. You send a Phoenix Lord in with 4 6s to save, baby. Woo!
Nothing you can do to kill that thing.
Oh, you know, fantastic.
It was like, yeah, it's just so good. In like those clutch moments, you know, where you're like, I just need this to happen, or I need that 6 to charge. Oh, look, good thing I have a 6 on a charge roll. Huge. It's like, so good.
I want to throw this real quick out. Simon, excellent work on the tournament, going 4-1 on that. But I think that AdMech right now, for some reason, I don't know why everybody's gloom and doom on them. I think they're still fantastic. They're just not old. They were so good in the middle of their run that they had their own tier. There was S tier, and then there was AdMech tier. So, but I think that they're fine right now. They're scary. That's a scary army to play against, and you don't see them out there as much anymore.
No, I think they still have all the tools you need. You know, Rust Stalkers especially. You know, they can score points. Like Rangers are no joke. Like I played a game against Custodes, and my unit of Rangers was literally doing the most work out of my whole army. Just Mars Rangers, like just popping off shots from very far away, just nuking stuff. So, you know, like there's still a lot of play in AdMech, but you need like they're no longer I go first, and let's just say they're not Tau, right? Like,
well, do you want to pause on this? Should we tackle the subject, Sky?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we can seek it out.
I mean, I like where you went there. Okay, so Tau.
Shine a marker light on it.
Oh, you're about to airbursting me.
Yeah. Ooh.
Here's the problem, everybody. Matt, Josh, a couple of guys had said this. The meta is amazing right now. If you boot Tau, and I'm going to give you an unpopular opinion to go with this Tau, I actually don't think that Custodes need very much of anything. I think that Custodes are propped up because they take out all of Custodes' natural predators, which is super MSU able to play the mission, attacking them from different sides and doing things. Tau invalidate those lists. You're playing MSU Dark Eldar, you're playing MSU GSC and stuff like that. Tau can just pick that army up in 2 turns. Tau's the problem. I don't think Custodes are the problem right now. For me, that's my opinion on that.
Tau are one of those things. It's very hard to balance Tau because they only really participate in movement and in shooting.
Yeah.
Right? So like they move around a lot, and then in shooting they have shooting. And it like Tau is not playing against Tau is not a feel good army. And I think that's why there's so much hate towards
you're just
Tau.
Not involved.
Because there's no interaction from me as an opponent. I stand there. It's why like the plain Iron Hands list, like with the 6 planes or whatever, or any of those like plane lists,
orcs,
were so unfun, right? It was just you roll a bunch of dice, and I roll dice and remove models, and there's no interaction from me at all. If you can see me, you can shoot me. If you've got out of line of sight shooting, you can shoot me, and I hope I can make saves, and you're just going to roll dice at me. And so it becomes like a very stale sort of like game interaction, right? Where the game itself is very much designed to like back and forth and trade your pieces and this and that and the other. And it's hard to do when your army just shoots and murders things. Now Custodes though, don't even get me started. Like Custodes might not need much of a balance, but like they need a tweak, right? But they are like they are wrong.
But the thing is, they're very strong, and the games feel for me very like I played Dark Eldar first. We were playing the team, and we were practicing for Adepticon teams. So we played Custodes versus Dark Eldar, and I played the Dark Eldar, and I was just beating up on the Custodes a little bit, and the game went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I don't feel that ever feels that way versus Tal. You can win against Tal, don't get me wrong. It's not like an unbeatable army, but the win or lose against the Custodes, I felt like I was always in the game. I was doing something. I was in it. And then we played Tal versus that, and it felt like I was playing a different game than the other person was playing. So
yeah, right. And that makes sense. And yeah, you're right, James. It says there's no agency against Tau, right? And I've enjoyed, Matt says I've enjoyed Tau games outside of Airbus spam. Absolutely.
They didn't have such good... Airburst used to be 18. It used to not be... It's the fact that you can stack so many rerolls on top of them, too. If somebody can see you with Darkstrider, they can make a +1. If somebody's been wounded, if you're Tau Sept, you can just, bam, spend 2 CP, and all of a sudden you're rerolling all your wounds, and you possibly could have been buffed by Shadow Sun. So a unit that literally is rerolling all hits and all wounds and is getting, 12d6 shots... You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
100%, indeed. Josh. I'll take Custodes over Tau as my opponent every single time. I'll play 2 Custodes before I play Tau most of the time. Whew. I don't know.
Aren't we going to just see Eldar and Dark Spam? Like, it's a very strong option. Like Night Spinners, I played a couple of games with Night Spinners and with the little batteries. And I wasn't even using the full potential because you can use Rangers to kind of spot for them and get reroll hit rolls and stuff, which is like something that I found out last night while I was doing the Codex review. And so there's a lot of options. And I know, for example, at the team level, like WTC, where there's lots of line of sight blocking terrain, like Night Spinners and the little platforms are going to be incredibly powerful.
All of the yes. I'd love to talk about something fantastic on this, guys. Have you watched Exodite the Flame?
I did. Episode 1 was pretty awesome.
I mean, guys and gals, if you have not went to Warhammer Plus and watched Exodite the Flame, you are doing yourself a disservice because it was fantastic.
It was really good. And then they skipped a week, and I was very sad. And now I want episode 2. Come on, exactly. You can't just tease us with one episode and not put stuff out.
I love Dingo Wild the Tau. Hey, fish cows deserve this. However, I was in Harry Potter World this last week, and I ate at the Cowfish restaurant. So I was in the official Tau restaurant, apparently.
And Mr. Dingo, it's not
Canadian.
That's right. We know who you are. No, it's not. We're not shelling out hate. We're explaining why there's so much hate towards Tau because of the non-interactivity.
Sorry, we have to read this real quick. Ready? Thank you, Andrew.
Ready.
Because I find that droning on with Tau puns while monitoring the pulse of the meta is a strike on your normally smart content, but I'm crooting for you anyways. I love everything about that.
Hold on, I have to go. I'm sorry. Did it die for me again?
No, you're still here, buddy.
Okay, good thing. Just I was like, I couldn't hear you. It was like, please. The pun was so massive that it just broke everything. Exodite was excellent. You know, I really, really enjoyed about that Exodite, like new release style and stuff. First of all, the Lore Master videos are fantastic. If you haven't subscribed to Warhammer Plus, just for the Lore Master videos, I love just putting them on and listening to like the lore or whatever. It's so really, really nice. Yeah, and they went on about the caste system in the Tau Empire.
They do Tau cast this time. I loved everything about it.
That, and in Exodite, my favorite little part of the scene was the Exodite like pressing buttons on his little stealth suit. And it's like he's having trouble, like basically getting the Bluetooth to work on the
I
drone.
love it. One of them just gets upset about this. Is I love. I'm going to put this on for a second here. So I'm going to go. I'm over on Warhammer TV for this. I loved when the one of the other stealth suit guys just goes, and you're done, and just swipes it off.
Yeah, just like and done, and then all the little drones come up and they're like boop boop connected or whatever. I was like, oh man, it's like setting up your Alexa, or your Google Home or whatnot. It's like that's literally like the interface they use for drones. Really funny.
Oh yeah, guys, the orcs just don't even have rerolls. It felt that Tau just feels like they're just I am hitting you. You know what I mean? I am winning you.
Yeah, like there's ways to mitigate Tau, like transports, negative modifiers to hit, mainly transports, so you don't just get like completely annihilated in like a single turn. And then having some way to sort of like mitigate their alpha strike or beta strike, because I've been finding a lot more good Tau players using Kauyon more than Montka, and like just coming out strong at the end and just wiping people at the end of the game.
There's 100% arguments to be made for that, because of the fact that the first couple turns, you're not even activating Monkai in the first place anyways. You're doing your indirect. Yeah. You're staying at max range. I actually think Simon hit it on the head right quick. I love this. He goes, he goes, can I just interrupt here to say the Tau and Custodes problem mirrors AdMech and Drukhari. People hate being shot off the board and would rather lose to Drukhari than AdMech 9 times out of 10. 100%. I feel it's the same way. It's just not fun. What do we got? We got a super chat from Matt O. $5. Thanks, brother. I'm taking one more day to vent more in the death of my Ynnari Drukhari High of the Force before moving on. I admit to not see the nerf coming. Rip cat lady.
You can still run them, but in a single detachment now.
Yeah. What do you think about running Quins with the Drukhari now to get that some psychics and stuff like that? And
I really like the players of light or whatnot. Like the light pathway, so the categorization, like the light.
Can you sneak that in there without losing my power from
pain? Yeah. You can take a Harlequin patrol without losing power from pain.
I think that's a big deal now, man. Yeah. You can take I think that just having the Shadow Seer gives you a lot of options for Drukhari.
Well, it depends, because if you're going to take the patrol Harlequins and Drukhari, you kind of want to take the real space raid. Because
I love that you went there. Look, this guy's a genius right here, guys. I don't know if you've ever met him. This is Ridman. He knows what's going
everyone.
on. He knows what's going on for Dark
Order. Man, thanks for blowing smoke up my butt.
But
I really appreciate it.
But I do like that, though. You bring the real space, and then you bring a patrol of Harlequins. I actually think that's good.
Yeah, you get all three of the different factions, and you get the Harlequins to add to it. To be honest, I was looking at the Void Reavers as like a substitute for my Ravagers, because they're like more survivable than Ravagers in like a weird way. You could have like 4 Void Reavers in place of my 2 Ravagers, doing pretty much the same and being much harder to kill at range, especially if they're the light where they only get hit on 4s, and then they're -1 to hit and you can't reroll the hit roll, so they're like almost impossible to hit, which gets kind of crazy.
I think that there's going to be some wacky combos. I haven't looked enough at the Harlequins yet, but I feel like there's going to be some nice. You basically dabble in a patrol and get some shenanigans with the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like where the Solitaire went. Tell you the truth, just getting a little more AP and everything went in there.
Super killy and super fast, and is pivotal. Like you can't use pivotal rolls, I don't think, when you take like a patrol, which makes sense. Then they're not like the main players, and I get like the fluff behind it. But I really like those Corsairs.
Those like pirates,
right? Not only that, they're Cabalite warriors with power swords. Like, literally, they're a Cabalite warrior unit armed with power swords. Like, who does not love that? I love that. You can put them in a Raider because they're Drukhari, or Venoms, because they're Drukhari. And I love the fact that I can have a Psyker in my triple patrol, like Eldar, like a Drukhari list now, to get Psychic Interrogation, and you give them Runes of Fate, so they can take the Convergence power, which I think just gives me a command point every Psychic phase if I want to. It's fantastic.
It rocks out. I do want
to good.
I do want to say I agree, Travis. GSC came out and it looked good. Then Custodes, Eldar, and Tau said, "Sorry, little bro." GSC would be completely a player in the meta if Tau didn't exist. Not to jump on the Tau thing again, but it's just it's Tau, not Custodes, that are negating GSC. I actually think the GSC plays really well into Custodes.
GSC are a very well balanced, internally fun book. And, faction experts, like Dustin Henshaw or like Alex McDougall, like they're coming up with some really crazy combos.
They're nasty.
If you watch them play, that they will, and they play because of experience. They know how to play into Tau and stuff more than anything. But it is definitely that skill gap is so massive with Genestealer Cult because all your models just die so quickly. So you have to have a very good plan when you're using them. Also, I don't care what Nick says. Kelemorphs are amazing. Like Kelemorphs,
He's crazy.
They're so good.
He can shoot and fire and fade. He's literally the only.
I do not know what Nick. I do not know where Nick has been living under a rock the last.
You literally can deep strike and then move.
What are you talking about? It's so good. So he can literally deep strike, shoot a unit off an objective, and then move on to the objective. And just be like, "This is my objective now." Like he's just so good. Just
100%.
So
Dude, I love playing with GSC. By the way, it's a fun army.
Yeah,
but that's my style. It turns out MSU crazy infantry and stuff, and you can do shenanigans. Anytime you can do shenanigans, I'm good. Ooh, I want to tackle this one, Scary. Yeah. I of course just lost it.
Brendan Green says, "What's each of your top 3 best units in your book at first glance?" Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you go first because
no, you said you want to tackle it. You tackle it first, then I will tackle it and ride off your coattails.
Ready? I love the fact that the Phoenix Lords are now playable, like legit playable, not like meme. I just like them because I have a cool conversion.
They are mean. They are so mean.
Yeah, they can do some serious damage. I really think that I'm going to fit more bikes in. I love the speed, and I think that the fact that you get Strands of Fate every turn is a big deal, and I think that Uthway is slightly underrated right now. Maybe people
underrated. It is the best one.
I know,
in my opinion.
They're so good, but I think that Strands.
It's underrated. Are you serious? People are underrating Uthway.
I was joking.
What are people?
They do. People are bringing other stuff. But what? I think that Strands of Fate. I know it's not a unit, but the Strands of Fate makes so many things crazy.
Makes all the units good.
Yeah, well, no, because you can do stuff. Like I brought that big unit of Banshees, which I should be probably 2 5s, so playing around. But if I get a turn where I get those 2 assault dice, or charge dice, man, with the +3 movement, the +3, you're just getting crazy charges and stuff like that, and you can get into people and do some serious damage. I'm super excited that Banshees are good because they were terrible for a long time without like a billion buffs. You know what I mean?
So striking Scorpions. Like one of my favorite, like going to my 3 favorite units, it is Karandras has quickly become like my favorite Phoenix Lord because he is a little boss. Then you have Striking Scorpions, which are amazing. I just love the fact that they forward deploy and literally go right in your opponent's face. And my 3rd favorite is the Webway Gate. It's not a unit, it's a piece of terrain, but it's amazing.
I mean, you at least were better than me. You did a piece of terrain. I just did a core detachment ability. It's one of my favorite units. So you're at least better than me on that one.
It's so that Webway Gate is ridiculous, and until I don't like the fact that you can kind of fit them in weird ways now because they just have to be within 3 of each other, and there's no like you have to make an arch, like you can just like cram them together and like fit it in like tiny little spots. It's so good until they fix it, right? And then they make you have to put it in an archway. Boo. No, but until then, I like the fact that it's like a pillar basically that you can put anywhere. It's really cool.
Funny, Matt, on the thing with Nick's argument of just having extra units, I actually do have a ton of units. I bring fairly low. I don't even bring the Patriarch, tell you the truth. I go pretty cheap. But yeah, I do think that's right. I've left Combat Patrol up here for a while. I do want to ask about that. What do you guys think about the value of the Combat Patrol? I actually think it's got a lot of worthwhile models that you're going to use.
Like in the Eldar one, you mean?
The Eldar Combat Patrol one, yeah.
I'll tell you, Guardian Defenders, especially in Uthway, but Guardian Defenders in a big block, that block is still incredible. It is, it's so good.
So, I I was debating on this, whether the value on it, though. I don't know.
The value's good. The bikes are good. Like, is it what, $100 and some or something?
Yeah, I gotta look on the thing again. But
Right.
it's one of the few that's the combat patrols that actually comes with enough things that you're going to use. Because a lot of times these boxes come with a couple good units and a couple things where you're like, and I'm probably not going to use that all in one thing. There's so much wrong with the Webway gate. I'm excited about the
Webway gate. Is amazing. It's so good. It's like ridiculously good.
My thing with the Webway gate is I refuse to put in the Webway gate until they give me an FAQ, because I feel like they're going to just change the wording and everything on the Webway gate.
Until then, I've had a lot of fun actually fielding it. Matt says, "I'm curious if you can deploy it easy enough." Yeah, a lot of tournaments are running player optimized terrain, so you can make it very easy, like to have a spot for it. First of all, and secondly, with the match play Knackman data, Knackman, you can remove an obstacle or an area terrain piece to put your Webway gate down, right? Which then gives you a lot of space to put it down if you really wanted to in a certain spot. Plus, I love the fact that it's combined fantastically with Phantasm. So, something that's been working very well for me is having 3 aggro units that you can put up in your opponent's face. And then if you don't go first, you just Phantasm into the Webway gate. And then they go, now I'll just wait here until you get nice and close, and then we're going to jump out of here and murder you all.
I like one of the factors is especially if you're playing against an aggressive army, you can put the Webway gate as your first thing in the middle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just go, hey, what do you got there? Oh, I've just put something that stopped you from hiding from me in the middle. So, and I'm also going to pop out on this objective. Yep. It's going to be good. So yes, I'm worried about what they're going to say, because a couple of the interactions seem like they need clarification. So I really, really think that we're going to see a little bit of difference on it. Yeah,
Power C, you're 100% right, Power C6. WTC says no to fun. I agree. I agree. For anybody who doesn't know that reference, the World Team Championship bans fortifications in your list.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that the tables and terrain are set, and players at an international level will game the crap out of it.
Oh, yeah. You remember when we've had also some weird arguments about that. Remember when we had nothing says I can't turn the sky shield on its side?
Right. This way, right? It's a big line of sight blocker now. It's like, oh man, it's some of the things people come up with. I'm very grateful for Tom and Neil and Isaac, who are like literally put their heads together and
always dealing with every one of our shenanigans and bull crap.
They're like, but what if you? They're like, no. Okay.
But curious if Manny style adding Guardians will work as a skew list. Possibly. The thing is that anytime you just bring a volume of anything, horde wise, it does auto beat some lists that just don't have enough swings or shots to kill it. I'm actually debating on whether I really want to run an Iandin Wraith construct army, and I don't know if it's going to be GT worthy, but I think it's going to be at least close, because you can bring...
I don't think you need it to be Yandin. I think it's honestly better as like Uthway, or as anything else that's not Yandin. Like, the only thing you lose is Citronomes, so you lose that +1 attack. But like,
I was thinking about bringing that in the list for this weekend, man. A unit of Wraith Blades with Uthway gets the 6-up invul and 5-up against mortals, and then you don't put the shields on him, you bring the 5 attacks.
Yes. And strength 6, 5 attacks or whatever, and you can embolden, enervate, embolden, whatever. Like, you can stack some buffs, and then fate dice just give you those 6s anyway. They might, and then you fortune them for the 5-up feel no pain anyway as well.
Yeah,
it's just all around better.
Yeah, I wish I brought them. I didn't know if we would have them at the stream house though. That was my big issue.
Right.
So
makes sense.
But I think that I'm going to stick a 5-man unit in there. Of Wraith Blades. I think that they actually they hit hard. And I love the fact that they hit hard now, because let's be honest, to be fair, Wraith Blades have been the dirty step cousin. It's just they weren't let into the party. Because every other unit that was the same battlefield role, when you talk about Blade Guard veterans and things like that, were always so much better than that point for point. So I'm very excited to put those on the table.
I've used two. I've used the blades for a game, and then I use the axes and shields for a game as well, and they're both fantastic. Really, really fun to use, and I love that you can heal them now. Oh, so nice to be able to heal them.
It's actually cheaper now too, man. And you can flat 3. Woo, woo, for 1 CP.
Yep. Flat 3 for flat 3 if you the spirits use nearby. Yeah. But the biggest thing there is I've been looking at the Wraith Knight, and before, one of the biggest issues I had was that once it bracketed, it was hard to like bring it back, right? But like now that you can just heal it, I think it's phenomenal. It's really good.
I am excited about this. I want to show everybody Morgan Ra again, though.
Yeah. Although, like the fact that you only take 5 Dark Reapers in a unit, like they're not terrible. You can have 1 unit ignore the penalty for moving and shooting or whatever. So you can have like 1 unit of them. You can't fire and fade them into a transport anymore. So they die very fast. I think the Reapers, Fire Dragons are probably more killy than like Dark Reapers.
My thing with the Dark Reapers is that for their price tag, I could just bring more stuff. Especially now that they're a big unit of them at the time. So I could bring more firepower and just more things. So it just seems better to bring more things than just one expensive thing.
Especially with Eldar.
Yeah, especially with Eldar. And again, when you're looking at an expensive T3 one, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just too easy to get picked up. So I do like his having more crap, especially in this army. I think that Eldar is going to be an army that plays the issue game. It always has, but especially now, there's so many things that have very, very good profiles that you can bring tons of 5-man units and 1-man unit of this and just things. Yeah, Reapers did catch the triple nerf. You're 100% sure on that. Hi, hello, everybody. But I'm psyched up about this. I'm actually curious. What is everybody in chat that's an elf lover, a pointy-eared proponent?
Which has to be everyone. If not, what are you doing here?
What do you guys think what are your favorite units that have come out? What are your favorite buffs? Super chat. Dalamar DE. Love Dalamar for one. Excellent character. Scary. Splinter Rack's work on the Corsair Shuriken rifles.
Well, that makes me even happier now. Like, the rifles themselves are really cool, and I love the fact that they just auto wound on 6s to hit, which is fantastic. But, I don't know, do you have to give up the power sword if you take the rifle? Because then I would be very sad, because I really, really like that power sword.
I want to see an all Corsair.
Yeah, they take away the pistol and the sword to take away the rifle. So you could do the rifles, but like honestly, I'd probably just take 10 of them and just give them power swords and have them as like a mini, like poor man's Howling Banshee unit. But then again, like Splinter, the Shuriken rifles are a good substitute for Splinter rifles, and the fact they have a strength and an AP, which would actually be kind of useful in a lot of situations.
Here's my it's not even a request, my friends. Here is my plea to the community. Old Man Brad is asking, no, he's begging, somebody make an actual pirate force, like modeled up like pirates with the Corsairs. I want to see Jack Sparrow.
Eye patches and everything.
Yes, full big hats. I want pirate hats, and I want transports to look like boats. And I would be forever in beauty, harmonious beauty.
Brad will buy you food at a restaurant with candles and flowers.
So much. Oh, God, I want that.
Thank you,
so
Dalamar.
much.
I really appreciate putting that out there. But yeah, like 20 Splinter, like Shuriken rifle shots at 24 inches would actually be kind of cool. Just like an additional gunboat, very themed. Would fit into my all Cabal theme list, which I have been practicing and running.
Make them pirates instead. I'm
already rebasing and repainting everything.
Sean, I am super excited for Banshees and Scorpions to be good. And Matt, I actually agree with you on this. I think that Harlequins are way more interesting than they used to be.
That's funny. They simplified the rules, but then they made them better.
Yeah. Well, the thing is also the fact that they can sprinkle in without breaking your your super faction. You know what I mean?
Which makes sense. Like they've kind of like been back and forth over the editions with that. Like some editions you could, and then they didn't, and then they were their own thing. And then ninth edition was like detachments, and then you had your army bonuses, so you couldn't take them with Drukhari anymore. Like they've been back and forth with a couple of different ones like that.
They intrigue me. I think that I'm working out my new Eldar list. I'm making all these lists, and I'm trying to figure things out. And then there's the Harlequin component that's just kind of calling, "Hello, Brad, come to me. You want a solitaire? You'd like a true? You want a Shadow Seer running around?" Just there's a lot.
You know
of
the mind ward trick.
shenanigans.
You know the mind ward trick that I talked about earlier. It works best in Ynnari because then you could have Ynnari, Drukhari, Venoms with the Grizzly trophies, and then it had an additional -2.
I'm going
And
so
it's
hard on that.
-8.
Tell me what you're going to bring to your first tournament with Eldari.
Yeah, I'll give you my list actually that I've been kind of testing. This is the framework that I'm using. So anybody who wants to take notes, you can. This is a little one. It varies. There's like 2 versions of this list. I'm taking a Farseer. This is a Uthway, by the way. Farseer with the Relic and Super Helm of Doom, which I really like. The Spirit Seer or Eldrad, whichever one you want to do. Karandras. 20 Defenders, 2 units of 5 Rangers, 6 Dire Avengers with Stand Firm, 6 more Dire Avengers with double cannons on the Exarch, 10 Scorpions with a Blade and Crushing Blows on the Exarch for I Hit You, I Wound You with 7 attacks, which is fantastic. 5 Wraithblades with Axes and Shields, 5 more with Axes and Shields. You don't need the extra 5. You can just do it with 5 and then use those 200 points for other stuff if you'd like. 2 Wave Serpents with Twin Cannon and Cannon, so triple cannon. Crimson Hunter Exarch with 2 Lances and Swooping Evasion. So 4 D3 plus 3 damage shots that hit on 2s and reroll wounds against fly, which was actually kind of cool in the game that I played.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and other than that, that's it. Like the combinations of this is, to be honest, the Crimson Hunter I take out and I put in 10 Swooping Hawks with the Relic for 5-up Feel No Pain and -1 to hit them when you shoot them. I think that's one of the best. Like Swooping Hawks are phenomenal.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
then
just, I love it.
yeah, and then you probably need, because you're playing Uthway, you probably want to put in some Bright Lances somewhere. The way that I've been looking at it is probably doing Wraith Lords, because a Spirit Seer give them rerolls to wound, runs to wound, because they're core. So you have like double Bright Lance.
That is a big deal. I'm actually thinking about the Wraith Lord on that too.
Yeah, and then the Autarch can give them reroll ones to hit because they're core. So, if you have like a Wraith Lord with double Bright Lance, you can have 3 of those, and they're rerolling ones to hit, rerolling ones to wound. It's like very reminiscent of the old triple Ravager with an Archon, but with like Wraith Lords, and they can still go punch things, so they're relatively dangerous.
Love it.
And they don't bracket anymore. So like they're full efficiency until they die, which is really good.
Oh, Brandon, the Lady Space Patrol, love both of those. Thoughts on Warp Spiders? I like Warp Spiders quite a bit.
Yeah, spiders are they're so good. Like everything in this book, I want to build an army with everything.
I almost did that. I'm not gonna lie. I did a lot of 2. I typically do a lot of Noah's Ark list building. I like 2s because I like redundancy, but I don't want to triple spam any 3s. So, But yeah, I really wanted to take a lot of everything. If I had more time, if I didn't have you need to put your list in right now, with the thing, I would have put a little bit even more variety in. So I think there's a lot to be said. Give me how to live my week. I'm leaving for Florida on Wednesday. But
have fun at the in-house stream event. Make sure you go over and watch all the army list breakdowns that we've done. Sadly, I wasn't able to make it to the stream house event this time. But other than that, like one of the things about the rapid release rate of Games Workshop is it can feel overwhelming to have all these things like pop out at you at once. But honestly, you should start by just building a list of things that you enjoy and that you like the look of, and then playing it. And don't worry about trying to figure out the most perfect combination early on. give yourself some time to develop an army list based on your thought process and the meta. Like, eventually you'll say what's good and what's bad, sure, but like, give yourself some time to explore a new codex, and don't just take what we say online at face value. Like, explore your options as well, and you'll end up being better for it.
I agree so much on this. There's so many shenanigans and good. That's the best part, is I don't think there's any super standouts. I think that there's a lot of things that are just good, and put them on the board. Put everything on the board and just see how you feel about it. You're going to get a lot of mojo for that.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. We always
Bye,
appreciate
everybody.
it. Later, Gators.